Hey everyone, so in this video I just wanted to take you guys down a quick trip down my memory lane. I'm going to be looking at some of the oldest drawings I've ever done. In a recent podcast I did with Santi from Unlock Your Craft, we talked about how I've never thrown out a single drawing that I've done since I was like 8 or 9 years old. So I thought it would be pretty interesting just to go through some of the oldest drawings that I've ever done and kind of go backwards a little bit into some of my more recent ones. So these aren't necessarily all in the exact order, but roughly it's older drawings going towards some newer ones. So I thought you guys might want to check it out. And here we got, as you can see, mostly just anime drawings. So since I was a little kid, 8, 9, 10 years old, you can see the dates on some of these. 2002. These are all from like grades 5, 4, 6. I was super into anime when I was this age. So here you got Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta again. Here you got Krillin, Android 18, November 3rd, 2002. So a lot of these drawings are almost 20 years old. We got Majin Buu. Here we got a group picture. This is kind of like an original design, not original by me, but I used to copy some other artist's drawings and try to copy them myself. I think it was on the otaku.com, if anyone out there remembers that website. But here we got Gohan 2002. I was a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh as well, so here we have a 2003 drawing of Yugi and I forget this other guy's name. We got Majin Vegeta, Piccolo from 2002. We got Goku powering up in 2002. Here we got a picture superimposed onto another picture of Tien from Dragon Ball Z, and again it's dated 2002. I was drawing, I think, at least a picture almost every single day when I was this age. Like, so honestly, like, aside from my consistency now, I think I was probably the most consistent I've ever been when I was a little kid, drawing every day for hours and hours on end. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about in that recent podcast. Here we have Majin Vegeta and Trunks, Majin Vegeta and Trunks. Actually, I erased the M from his head, so I guess that's not Majin Vegeta. But it goes back to what I was saying in the podcast in terms of developing that passion, and I think that's what has allowed me to become a little bit, has allowed me to become more successful as the years have gone on, because when I was this age, I wasn't worried about any of this crap, you know, likes, followers, none of that shit mattered. It was just me in my room drawing by myself. There was no social media in 2002. You know, even here, 2006, you know, like, I think we had just started using Facebook back then, but the main thing was just developing that passion, which is, I think, why I'm still sticking with it today. Here we have an original character design. I guess his name was Golem. I was really into manga back then too, and I even tried making my own manga here. It's only a few pages, but yeah. So a couple of my own characters here. I'll put this on my story here. It'll be for you guys to read it. It's kind of shitty, but pretty funny looking back on it though. So here we have another picture of Vegeta, baggy pants. This is actually the oldest drawing that I have, I'm pretty sure. I think this was from grade 4. I was probably 8 years old when I did this, and these are two Digimon, Kiwimon and Datamon. The date is not on this, but I know that when I was drawing Pokemon, I would have been 8 years old, and this would have been even later than that. But I guess I don't have every drawing I've ever done. But we have Vegeta 2002. Yeah, wow, my consistency here was like I was drawing so many pictures every week and day. But of course, you know, these only take probably an hour to 2 hours to do each, right? So finishing one every day, not a super big deal. Here we start, like this is I think where I started getting into the more detailed work. Like I don't really have a great understanding about values yet or anything. Like this was all done with like the same pencil really. I think I just used one pencil for all of this, but in 2003 I'm starting to get now, this is all done freehand of course as well, so I'm starting to get the proportions a little bit more accurate, but the values in terms of like where like things should be dark, it's very basic. So but I'm starting to get a little bit more into like more intricate drawing. Now we have multiple people here, we have a background, I'm really starting to mess around with that. And here I'm just playing around with like filling the overall background as well. I'm not just drawing Gohan, I'm drawing like trying to draw him powering up and the rocks flying in the background. So these are all in pretty bad shape, but I'm glad I still have them. Yeah, I guess I was into drawing group pictures of anime back then. 2002. This one here was I think from a movie poster, a Dragon Ball Z movie poster, movie 13 I think, of Dragon Ball Z. Not dated, I must have cut it off. We have another 2002 Vegeta. 2002 anime girl, I don't know who that is. This would be my first colored pencil drawing ever, Goku in 2002. And this drawing here was one of the most drawings that I was the most proud of as a little kid. I was 10 years old when I did this. So you can see I've put in multiple characters here. I think I really did get a lot of these proportions quite good considering how complicated it was. At least at the time I thought this was really complicated. This took me 10 hours to complete, which was for me mind-blowing at the time. That you know, 10 hours on one drawing, crazy. So this would be my second, I guess, colored pencil drawing that I've ever done, and these were done just days apart actually. This would have been the first, October 8th and October 20th. So, and this drawing here I did in grade 5. I think this is actually some type of Spawn character, or like this wasn't an original design by me, but this was an original design from another artist that I saw maybe on DeviantArt or something like that. Or actually this was grade 5. I wouldn't have even been on DeviantArt at the time, but anyway, I was really proud of this drawing. I remember drawing this at age 5, or in grade 5, being 10 years old, and sitting on my lap. I didn't even use a table to draw this. I just drew this on a sketchbook on my lap. And here we have a Dragon Ball GT theme. Not sure when this was. 2003. Here we have Cammy from Street Fighter. 2003. And these are some of my most recent anime drawings. So this would have been 2004, grade 8 and grade 9. This would have been the summer going into grade 9. This is Riku from Final Fantasy. And this would have been done a few days later. Actually exactly 1 month apart. This is Yuna from Final Fantasy as well. I was never a huge Final Fantasy fan, but I just always found that the designs and the characters were just so interesting and cool to draw. So here we have, I think this one was one of my better drawings of 2002. Here we have Vegeta trying to rip chains off of something. So this one's kind of funny. I think you could probably tell when I started going through puberty, I guess you could say. 2004, I was interested in drawing female anime characters, and I guess this one is pretty suggestive considering how young I was. So this one's in 2004, I guess, grade 8. I did this. This is Cammy from Street Fighter as well. Here we have Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. Here's another one of Cammy. I did this one in grade 7, I believe, maybe grade 6. It's funny, I remember exactly where I was sitting in the house when I would have drawn every single one of these. Like for this one, my parents were building like a new closet or a new like room within our room or something, and I remember sitting in that room drawing this the whole time. Kind of a random memory, but I guess, you know, when you listen to music, it triggers memories from your past. It's kind of the same with this. You kind of remember what you were doing and what was going on in your life when you drew these pictures. So this is Riku again. I'm starting to really get into like a little bit more. I know this is still anime, but I'm slowly starting to get a grasp of like the realism. It's kind of like a mix between realism and anime combined. And I think this moment right here, 2004, is where I'm really starting to feel like I want to get into drawing more realistic stuff like faces. So that's when I went in. Shortly after that, that's when I started drawing faces, and here we have Angelina Jolie. This is actually the first portrait I ever drew in my entire life, and this took me, I think, 2 hours to do in 2004. So there you have it. May 12th, 2004 was the first portrait I ever did in my life. And this one would have been the second portrait I ever did in my life. And that's Jennifer Garner, grade 8, May 13th, 2004. I'm really glad I had the foresight to date all of these drawings back then, because looking back on them 20 years later, it's really nice to know exactly when I did them, and I'm really glad I didn't throw any of these out. So, not hard to tell. I don't really know how to draw hair at this point, and I mean, that is probably one of the hardest things. I haven't really played around with any different grades of pencils yet. I have almost no drawing knowledge whatsoever when at this point, right? I'm blending things with my finger, I'm drawing, yeah, so I have no idea what I'm doing. But in terms of the likeness, yeah, I mean, it's definitely still there, somewhat at least. This Jessica Biel, 2004. And here we have Jessica Alba, 2004. Courtney Cox, 2004. Jennifer Aniston. And here's a more recent drawing, actually, that I found crumpled up in my room. It's I folded it up for some reason, but we have Barack Obama. This one is no date. Oh, it's 2009, so much more recent. But Britney Spears, 2004. Again, Britney Spears, 2004. Halle Berry, 2005. And I think this is Nikki Hilton, Paris Hilton's sister. Yeah, I think I was trying to play around with borders here. I don't know why I was doing that, but it took a while before I consistently started like filling the page and like making an actual legitimate background. Like a lot of my drawings were smaller than what the page actually was, and yeah. Oh, here we have a self-portrait, just a quick sketch I did in 20 minutes. So I drew this actually while looking at a mirror. So I was looking at a mirror for 20 minutes. In 2010. This was actually for an elective drawing class in university, a Drawing 100 class, so I didn't do too bad in that course. No idea who this is. I think this is Jennifer Gardner again, 2005. Here we have Paris Hilton, 2004. This is actually probably the third or fourth portrait that I ever made. A lot of these laminated ones that I have, I think, are like the Angelina Jolie ones. All those are the oldest drawings I ever made. So here we did a self-portrait. I was 14 years old. I think this one took me about an hour and a half. 2004 of June. This is an old print of an old commission I did. And here I don't know who this is. I think this might have been a page out of a Vogue magazine cover. See, this, like a lot of these pictures, even, like I wasn't even drawing necessarily off of a computer back then. I was usually printing off my pictures and drawing like a shitty printed off version of it. So here we have Jessica Alba again. It says June 21st. No year, but presumably about 2004 is my guess. So there you have it. There's all my most recent drawings, and here's my progress of my most recent drawing. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.